This episode we're going to talk about something that I've actually been wrestling with for a long time before I got into online gaming. And it's one of those problems that, well, I guess it's not really seen as a problem, if you can afford to do it. I've talked about this kind of thing a few years ago, but I want to come at this in a slightly different way. Let's say you're out with your friends playing, I don't know, mini golf. The price of admission is $5 per person, but you can make the actual target hole a foot wider for 25 cents a hole. Would you do it? Is it worth spending almost the same price of admission to make the game easier to win? That might sound ridiculous, and yet in video games lately, this is pretty much what's been going on. The game is there, and you can play it normally for the price of admission, or you can give the company some real-world money and they'll make it easier to win. As time goes on, I kind of see this happening more and more. Wait, time out. I need to kind of go into something here because, at least for American gamers, once you saddle a game with the concept of being pay to win, you might as well also saddle it with the concept of we'll give you bubonic plague if you play it. So, everybody's got their own definition of what pay to win actually is, so for the sake of clarity, I'm going to offer a definition that will hold for this video anyway. The term pay to win is kind of fuzzy. It could be talking about games where there's a paywall where either you pay or stop playing. It could be talking about games where you can buy the most powerful gear for money rather than earning it in-game. It could mean that you can buy the best gear now rather than grind on it for weeks. It really depends on who you ask. In most cases, like Hearthstone, players refer to pay to win, meaning that you realistically can't win unless you pay real-world money. And now, emphasis on the word realistically. I mean, you could grind for weeks or months, getting your ass handed to you, or you can be gently encouraged to spend money through the not-so-soft pressure of other players just demolishing you. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use a catch-all definition. When I'm referring to pay to win, I'm talking about the concept of if you spend money, the game will give you an immediate advantage over other players of equal skill or ability and enhance your chances at victory. So this will cover any power for payment cash app items, but not things like XP or reputation boosters or cosmetic items. A little long-winded, but it kind of needed to be said, because a lot of people just assume that once a game has a cash shop that it's basically pay to win. It's not. Anyway, so let's say you go into the cash shop and you purchase one of these game enhancement tools. Does it actually help? Yeah, it actually does. Exhibit A, Defiance. When they went free-to-play, they started doing a patron subscription to their free-to-play model. It gives you a lot of perks, including boosts to your score. The higher you score at open world events, the more Arc Forge you earn, and the more you earn, the faster you can upgrade your weapons and shields. When they went free-to-play, they gave all their prior players 4 weeks of this boost, and since I had the game before the conversion, that's what they gave me. Even at what seems like a measly 20% boost, it makes a huge difference. For a month, I was getting Arc Forge hand over fist because of this booster, and it made the process of enhancing all my gear so much easier. And I accomplished more in 1 month than I had in the previous 6. Something else Tryon does, it's the random loot box. You buy an in-game credits from their website, and then you use those credits to buy a lockbox. And the lockbox has a chance of dropping a rare item, or a more powerful item. And again, you could grind for months to earn the same box in-world, or, you can pay $5 for a slot machine pull. I mean, the concept isn't unheard of. I mean, it's the same basic way that this works. You buy a booster pack, and you might get an epic card, you might get some box filler. You don't know. And the thing is, if you're going to be competing against other people, then you're going to have to purchase a lot of booster packs so you have a large library so that you can build your deck out of that. Which conveniently brings me to PvP. These aren't mine. I don't normally touch cardboard crack.
Let's go!
Exhibit B, World of Tanks. It works a little something like this. You can use normal ammo that you buy with in-game credits, or you can spend gold on enhanced ammunition, specifically APCR and heat. You can use in-game credits to buy these too, but you end up spending more credits than you actually earn from the battle itself. It's a losing proposition. When Tanks 9.2 came out, I installed this mod that shows a red shower of sparks every time a gold round hits a tank, and it amazes me how many people are shooting gold. It's about the same amount of people that are complaining about people shooting gold. Does it help though? Yes. Point blank, yes. The higher penetration punches through and does more damage, it bounces off of armor less, therefore causing more damage. One person shooting gold can pretty much turn the game in your team's favor. So what's the cost of this? Well, let's see, World of Tanks, about 20 bucks will get you 2,500 gold, and I'm using round numbers just for my sanity's sake. So I happen to really like my ELC AMX, so I'm going to use that as my benchmark. Each APCR costs 12 gold per round, so if my math is right, and the price I showed, that's about 0.008 cents per gold piece, so about 9.6 cents per APCR round. In an extended match, my ELC, I can probably wrap off 10 or so shots, so about $1 a game if I go this route. So really quickly, let's go over some of the things that purchasing gold in World of Tanks can do for you, right here from the hangar screen. So you can purchase camouflage for your tank, which helps you hide from your opponents. You can convert your experience over so that you can free up stuff from other tanks, which actually speeds up the grind process. You can purchase in-game currency. You can even purchase a premium account, which, believe me, it helps. Much to the consternation of free-to-play players. Oh, you're just buying your way to victories. Well, thing is that free-to-play games, they gotta do something like this. Let's face it, making a game is not cheap, and neither is maintaining an ongoing title. So unless you've got a way to keep new players buying your product, you need to find a way to generate money from your existing player base. And frankly, on a free-to-play title, the only way you're going to do that is to cash shop. And also, kind of being frank about it still, there's only so many pretty horses that people are going to buy. The easy solution is you sell power, or the possibility of power, especially if you make the price seem really small per unit. So let's go back to World of Tanks. Let's say I actually did go that route, and I was shooting gold with my ELC at about $1 a game. It adds up. Over the course of a night, I might play 10 to 20 games, and even facing the reality that I'm not going to shoot 10 shots per game, I'm still looking at spending $7 to $15 in a night-long session, just one dime at a time. Consumable items like this keep players diving into their wallet just to grasp victory, and especially when it feels like they're not really spending much. $1 a game? You can't even get a burger for that. $15 for a night? Pfft, movies cost more than that. And I'm not even talking about the whales up there, I'm talking about just us normal players. And cash shop power in North America is nothing compared to what they do in Korean titles. And the thing is, at least in some MMOs, some players will drop 5 figures worth of money in order to get themselves on the leaderboard. It doesn't even matter how much money I'm spending. I mean, as long as I'm #1, as long as I'm winning, as long as I'm... Okay, if I don't do this, it's going to bug the hell out of me. Yeah, like you didn't see this one coming. Back in my paintball days, this was actually an issue I had a major problem with. There were people I called credit card commandos. Just to sum up the mentality, it's not the round with your name on it, it's the 600 behind it mark to whom it may concern. These guys would happily spend $3,000 on gear just to play paintball, and then drop a few $100s a weekend just on the ammunition itself. And for what? Well, it's all about winning. At the end of the day, the only stat that matters is the one marked W, and if you can get that through spending a few more bucks than your opponents to make the game easier, so be it. The problem is that you're also selling off the integrity of your game with it. This was the reason nobody outside of paintball really takes it seriously as a sport, and it's going to hurt the reputation of video games in the long term. There's an unspoken rule in the sport that the game should be inherently fair. We like to know that the best player is going to win because of skill or ability and not because of money. Whether we realize it or not, we look at video games in the same way as real sports. We expect the best player to win, not the richest player to win. This is why people in World of Tanks shooting gold universally are pretty much hated, even if it seems like everybody does it. And as long as the perception of pay to win is in place, any game will not be taken seriously as anything more than just a distraction. There is one wild card here, and let's go back to the paintball thing for just a second here. I could never keep up with the paintball arms race. It comes with not having a lot of money. So I got better. I got tired of getting my tail kicked by people who had more money than me, or I guess more correctly, people whose mommies had more money than me, but not that I'm bitter. So I started taking mental notes, and I decided to just get better at the game. I learned how to be sneaky when I needed to be. I learned how to be abrasive when I needed to be.
Should I, or do you want to surrender? Your call.
You bet on.
I learned how to aim. I learned how to use my teammates effectively on the field.
Right down the line, you can see him. 1, 2, 3. You want him?
I read everything that I could, from old Paintball Tactics magazine to Sun Tzu. I even watched what few videos existed at the time. I fed my brain. Essentially, I changed my entire outlook on how I played paintball. Okay, you might outspend me, but I'm going to outthink you. And it worked to a large extent. I'm not about to say that I was a juggernaut of skill and prowess out there, but it was enough. I mean, I could walk onto a field with what was considered a museum piece in my hands, and I could not only hold my own, but I would thrive out there.
I don't believe I got that.
I tend to look at online gaming in the same way now. Oh yeah, okay, you might outspend me in the cash shop, but I'm going to try to outthink you. I have teammates who can shoot you while you're too busy trying to get me. I'll read a game in progress and try to figure out what path is clear. I'll use every resource I have to stay alive and try to win. This is, of course, assuming that I even care, and I actually found this the best way to deal with credit card commandos. Oh, you spent a lot of money to shoot me? I hope I was worth it. You know, next time just PayPal me a couple bucks. It'll be a lot cheaper for you in the long run. This isn't the only way to combat these kind of pay-to-win games. I actually found the best way to do it is to find games that keep the integrity. You ever wonder why League of Legends has high-profile sponsors and big money payouts? It's because they've managed to hold the integrity of their game. It would be really easy for them to institute a similar pay-to-win mentality as other games, and yet they don't do it. As a result, the game really does come down to player skill. Let me tangent here for a second. This is why I think games like League of Legends will excel as an esport, and games like World of Tanks just won't. As long as anything in the cash shop looks like it gives a game-to-game advantage, it looks like a pay-to-win, and it gets written off as such. There's more growth, and there's more money in the long run by maintaining the integrity of the game. Players need to be aware of this as well, and there are ways to support your favorite game without paying to win. If we, the players, support games without a pay-to-power kind of cash shop thing, it sends a message. Of course, this is pipe dreaming, and I know it. I kind of wish that as a kid I wasn't spoon-fed that whole "it's not if you win or lose, it's how you play the game" mentality, because that's a lie. And I kind of wish I didn't want to believe it as much as I do now. I mean, it's all about winning, and paying for advantages to make winning easier, it's just how it works. Get on your high horse all you want, you know it's true. I realize that this show is kind of an echo chamber sometimes, so a lot of the responses I'm going to get down below are people saying, well, I don't do that, and it's okay, you're not the problem. The problem is that there's a lot of people that having victory is more important than actually earning victory, and there's a lot of companies out there who are more than happy to sell you that illusion of being a winner rather than letting you earn it for yourself. Or to kind of put it in a slightly more geeky way, kind of quoting Worf in sort of a way, if winning and losing doesn't matter, then why keep score? You know, a lot of people ask, well, can't we just play? Can't we just have fun? Not anymore. I'm happy I got that in one take because there's Mountain Dew everywhere now.